Kruger, hi, welcome to the water market.
Thank you.
What's your full name, please?
I'm Maganizo Kruger Nyasulu.
And you are from?
I'm from Stockholm Resilience Center, and my research is I'm a researcher at Stockholm Resilience Center, and looking at water use in earth systems. And more specifically, I'm grouping water into different types of water, like blue and green water, and how is it being used in both agriculture, ecosystem services, as well as in other household and industrial systems, and how those bring implications, and how these usages of water have implications on how water is imbalanced.
So your specialism is not on black water, not on grey water, but blue water and green water, which I think a lot of people aren't acquainted with that term. What is blue water and green water?
All right, so when we go to the hydrological cycle, when you talk about blue water, you're looking at water that comes as precipitation, and it is in the water sinks like oceans, rivers, lakes. That is regarded as blue water because it's in sink, and this water is the one that will be used for agriculture, as irrigation, and for industrial use as well as household use. When households and industries use the water for their different production systems, and when it's dispatched out as wastewater, it's regarded as grey water when it has been reprocessed in a closed loop system. And when you talk about green water, you're looking at water that comes as also precipitation. It falls on the ground, and it's taken up by plant roots, and it goes through the plant production system and comes out as evapotranspiration and goes back into the atmosphere to form another condensation for another rain. So that's regarded as green water. So these are the two types of water that happens, and the grey water is a product of also blue water, but that has been reprocessed.
Precipitation. What is precipitation?
Precipitation is rainfall. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you come into the subject of? How come you started studying specifically blue and green water?
To begin with, my background was in economics. And looking at how economics has been designed, it is formed like it has looked at resources as it has looked at environment as a resource that has to be taken up and being used by human use. And more specifically, when you look at what we eat every day that sustains us, which is food, is most reliant on water. And how water is being used in this food system it's in dire that it creates a huge water stress. So this drive for me to join into looking at blue and green water, it was mostly designed to look at how much the market-based economy has been focusing mostly on how can we maximize food production, disregarding how we use our water, and in the process we end up misusing water. So that was the driving factor for me to say, like, okay, if I can be able to understand and highlight more, bring more light into how water systems are being used and how our economy has been designed right now, is not sustainable in the long run. Yeah.
Basically, we and many other living things won't survive this current system.
Yes, yes.
So in terms of applications of the science that you make, how is it used today, and is that satisfactory to you?
I'd say like mostly what I'm researching the most right now is just trying to bridge the knowledge between what we've come to know as what type of water we're using for agriculture, like what's the highest quantity of water that is being used for agriculture. If you look at even the United Nations Development Goal number, the development goal that looks into water, and also you look at the development goal that looks into food production, they never mention anything about green water. They always look at blue water. When they talk about agriculture, their focus just to irrigation, without looking that more than 70% of food is produced by by rainfed. So having this in the background, I've seen like there's information is available, but there hasn't been that much activity that comes into context. Like, okay, let's do these things. This is also one reason why I came for this event, because I have an activist in me that is embedded in me that is always out there. So like, okay, you need to know about these things, but there's less that is being done to see how to understand, like, okay, this is the water that is being used in agriculture. How can we best use water for agriculture systems?
And just one last question. Is the price of water too cheap or too expensive?
All right, so if I am to bring my economics mindset, which is called the marginal or like marginal propensity to earn, they say like the commodity that is found at the highest, the commodity that you find in the highest quantity, the price tends to decline, and that's why there's a difference between what is called the diamond water paradox. Say like diamond is expensive because it's rarely found, and water is cheap because it's largely found. And that mindset has been built over centuries, and that's why we have seen that the way we value water as less than how much it's supposed to be valued, because we've tied everything to economy. So if you ask me again that question, I would say that the way we price water is not how we're supposed to price it. And we're not even supposed to price it in terms of money value. Rather, we should price water in terms of it's in its own school. Yeah. And I wouldn't put a certain price on water because it's priceless. Yeah, so that's that's how I would take it. Like, if we try and build water as another natural capital and we bring in a price tag to it, we are perpetuating it to be misused.
Thank you.
Thanks.